In our last episode, you got to meet us, Charlie and LeeAnne. In this episode, you'll get to meet Juliet. We'll do a mini boat tour, and you'll get to watch LeeAnne's rather comical effort at making a weather cloth. Hi everyone. After the intro video that we put out last week, we had several people ask us for a tour of the boat. We're not quite ready for a full tour yet. We're still in the process of moving on. We're kind of living, in both places. We're at the house most of the time and on the boat on the weekends. So we're in transit and the boat is still in a bit of disarray. Also, we have a bunch of stuff pulled out because we're going to be getting a survey next week. We have to haul it out for insurance purposes, but we can at least give you an intro to Juliet. So this is our cockpit. It's not very big, which is actually good for a blue water cruiser, in case you get swamped by a wave. You don't want so much water in the cockpit and you don't want a large companionway. So we have a pretty tight companionway. So that way you won't get a lot of water rushing down into the boat. But since it's just the two of us and Bubba, that is all we need. This is my galley. We have a 3-burner stove. We have a full oven. Well, full, it's small, but we can roast a chicken in there. We have a pretty good and deep and large freezer. It's a Technotics, what is it again?
Cold blue.
Technotics Cold Blue.
12 volt.
12 volts. Then we have the refrigerator side, which has both the top loading and in there. So, we have enough storage for what we need. We have a microwave up here, and we have various cabinets. This is where we will hang out. I'll sit here with my computer here to watch TV. This is Bubba's bed. Got his toys in it. He'll be happy. Our other settee, where if we have any guests and they want to sleep on the settee, there's that. And then I wanted to point out that I made the curtains and matching pillows. So my sewing skills are coming in handy. And we have one piece of art which is very meaningful to us. This is a painting by Margie Gates, who is the mother of our friend Allison Gable, and she's just a phenomenal artist. And this is actually a painting of Arch Rock out at Anacapa, which is a place that we visited many times and have been diving out there. So this was very meaningful to us, and we just love having this on our boat, and it matches beautifully with everything.
Okay, so this is our nav station, the navigation station. This is where we would sit to chart out a course, either on paper charts or a nav computer. It has the main electrical panel, which is both direct current, DC, and alternating current, AC, on the right. We've got the controller for shore, 110 volts, either coming from shore power or from the generator on board on the boat. Fuel meters, bilge pump, emergency bilge pump. We have both a regular nuisance bilge pump for small amounts of water, as well as a high water bilge pump that would be used in an emergency with an alarm. Over here we have some electronics. We have our Class B AIS, Vesper AIS. We have the original autopilot and old Robertson. Last year we installed the new B&G autopilot, so we have redundant autopilots. Stereo, charger, inverter, controller, solar panel controller. Down here we have a 12 volt accessory outlet for charging mobile devices, etc. VHF radio with DSC, digital selective calling, and our single sideband radio. Handheld VHF radio. You'll notice a hole here. It's where the boat came with an old LeeAnne chart plotter, essentially, and a radar, but you could not see these from the cockpit. You had to have somebody down here reading the information from these two electronic devices to the person at the helm. and we wanted to have more information at the helm. So we had a new nav pod installed that has chart plotter, autopilot information, wind, depth, speed, all that right at the helm. What we're going to do here is we're going to turn this into a bookcase for local chart guides, safety manuals, boat manuals, etc., for easy access.
We're hoping to make it look something like that.
And it's got some nice storage. You've got plenty of storage for charts and charting gear down underneath, as well as a cabinet here for some of the electronics. One interesting thing about this boat is it's got a wet locker right at the bottom of the companionway. So if it's raining out or you're all wet, you can take off your foul weather gear, put it in this wet locker, which drains to the bilge. So it's not going to get, it's not going to ruin anything putting wet stuff in here. Another really interesting thing about this boat, something I really was impressed when I saw it, is this piece of wood trim here that goes the entire length of the boat. It looks like just a decorative trim, but it's a lot more than that. One, it's a great handhold. It's very sturdy, very strong, so if you're underway and the boat's rocking back and forth, it's an easy way to hold on, where you can have one hand up here on the handrail, another hand down here. If you're shorter, just holding on down here. But the other really cool thing is it's grooved inside, and it's basically a gutter that would allow water, if it dripped in through one of these port lights, if they had a leak, the water would drip in here, go all the way down to the end where there's a lubber hole that drains into the bilge through that wet locker. So it keeps the boat nice and dry inside, and it's a nice safety feature. Talking about safety features, all these cabinets have positive latches. You have to stick your finger in to open them up. Likewise, the drawers, same thing. You have to push down on a latch here to open them up. So you can tell that this boat was designed to be offshore, where the boat's rocking back and forth and heeling at pretty good angles, and this will hopefully keep things in the cabinets instead of flying out.
These are the captain's quarters. This is our bedroom. It's not very big, but it has what we need. It's got this double bed, and on it is a quilt that I made a couple years ago with tropical fish on it. I am a quilter. That's one of my hobbies. I've done a number of quilts, and this is one of my favorites, and I wanted to have one that would work perfectly for our journey. And it fits just right on our bed. It's not too heavy, so it will keep us comfortable without being too hot in the tropics. We have a few drawers, and we have a tiny little closet, which right now is full of Charlie's stuff, which is all kind of cold weather stuff because, it gets cold here, but most of that stuff will not be in there when we leave because we're going to the tropics. And this is our V berth. We decided to use the captain's quarters for sleeping because this does not have a full mattress on it. It's just like a couple of foam pads. But we have had one person sleep in here. My friend Maria spent a night in here recently, and she said it was quite comfortable. But this is basically just going to be storage for us. So what is it like living in a marina? We picked a slip at the far end of our dock, mainly because it makes it really easy to get in and out when we go sailing. But it's a long walk. We also have great facilities here. We're right in front of our yacht club, Channel Islands Yacht Club, which has a really gorgeous clubhouse that we can use 24/7. And while we have a head on the boat, with a shower and everything, it's just easier to use the marina's bathroom, which is strictly for use by marina residents.
LeeAnne is measuring some weather cloths that she's making up for the aft rails here. We're going to set it up into two different pieces because we probably won't always want to have the forward weather cloth on due to blocking visibility, but The aft weather cloth will probably be up most of the time.
I think what we need to do is just put some grommets in the corners so we can just hold it, and then we'll figure out where we can mark where else we need to put grommets on. Bubba, you're in my way.
Over here.
Oh, sorry. Oopsie daddy. Alright, this is my first time doing this, so... Oh, he does not want to get off. Okay, Bubba, call him. Go see.
First thing you do is you punch a hole through the fabric.
Oh, right, the hole puncher. I've got that right here.
No, that's not the hole puncher. That's the grommet press. That's the die for the grommet.
What do I use to punch the hole? Do you have a? You said you had a hole puncher. All right, here we go. It's my first time doing this. I don't think it went all the way through. That did it. No, what?
You use the die punch.
Oh, duh. Okay, so try. Okay. Ready? What am I doing wrong? Let me look up the instructions. Okay, my first attempt, I had the male and female reversed. So let's try this again. I did it! I installed a grommet. I'm officially a grommet installer. And there's our first weather cloth. I still need to put grommets across the top so that we can attach it to the stanchion, which we'll just lace it through. And a bit of more of a gap aft than I was planning on, but the next one I'll make a little wider. And that'll give us some nice splash protection when we're sitting in the cockpit.
Well, that's all for today. We're going to be out of commission for a bit, as Juliet needs a haul out. This is actually a clip from the last time she was hauled out, a couple years ago. It's always nerve-wracking to see your boat get pulled out of the water by straps. But we'll have some more episodes coming up as we get closer to cutting the dock lines for good.